Hey, what's up YouTube? Scott coming back at you with another video. Gonna go through the Packers cards of the 1970s that I have. You see a couple stacks of slabs in front of you here. Was kind of a pretty cool night. Got to go to my first baseball game of the year. The Brewers ended up winning 5-3 with a key hit late in the 8th inning, so it was pretty cool. Ended up going with a friend of mine who was out visiting from Las Vegas. Was his first game in 25 years that he's been to. So it was pretty cool that got a win for him. And it's like 1 in the morning, just got back about an hour ago. Decided to do a video because I have a second burst of energy here. So I'm going to go through the Packers cards in the 1970s, and I hope you guys enjoy it. There's a lot of nice little interesting tidbits as I'm going to go throughout this video. So without further ado, here we go. Let's start out with this guy here. This card is actually part of the Team Hall of Fame set, the NFL Hall of Fame set, and the All-Time Packers set. 79 Topps James Lofton. A beautiful example there in mint 9. This card is a pop of 134 with 7 graded higher, so there are 710s out there. Very expensive. They sell for usually around $4,000 to $5,000-ish. Now James Lofton, he went to college at the University of Stanford. Played for the Packers from 1978 to 86. Was an 8-time Pro Bowler, 4 times All-Pro, and a member of the 80s All-Decade team. So, great wide receiver for the Packers in the 80s. Number 2 on the list here is 77 Touchdown Club Cecil Isbell. This card I actually subbed myself to get the grade. These cards are incredibly hard to find, because these were sent off to get autographed by players through the mail. And to find ones that are not sent off and that are in any kind of decent condition is tough. Usually they always have staining on the back. You can see a little bit of the brown right there on top. Kind of hard to see, but it's there. And that, brings it down in grade. But this one's nicely centered, though. So happy to have this card in any grade, really. I had to buy the whole 77 Touchdown Club set in order to get this card. So Isbell went to college at the University of Purdue, played with the Packers for only 4 years, from 38 to 42, before he actually went on back to coach at Purdue and coached at a few other things as well. He was an NFL champion in 1939, and he did lead the NFL in touchdowns and yards as for a quarterback back in 1941 and 42. And Isbell is a member of the 30s All-Decade team in the NFL. Next up here, 77 Topps Lynn Dickey, quarterback for the Packers. Have this one in the grade of a 10. This card owns only a pop of 8 in the grade of a 10. Went to Kansas State. Played for the Oilers actually first from 71 to 75 before coming to the Packers from 76 to 85. He was All-Pro 1 year. He had one really good year in 83 where he threw for like 4,500 yards. That record stood as the most yards in a season by a Packers quarterback until Aaron Rodgers recently broke that record in 2011. He was a great long thrower of the football. One of the small bright spots of the 1980s for the Packers. Next in line, 76 Topps, Larry McCarron. Now, Larry McCarron went to college at Illinois. This card is pop 27, 2 higher. I've actually never seen a 10 for sale anywhere. It did take me quite a while to find this 9, actually. Larry McCarron, 73 to 84, played for the Packers, was a 2-time Pro Bowler. And he actually, I get to hear him all the time, because he is on the Packers radio network with Wayne Larrivee. They've been doing that since 1999, so the last 18, 19 years or so. I've been listening to him on the Packers radio network. He's the analyst during the games on the radio. And he's known for having his pinky, basically it's bent at a 90-degree angle this way. So this, right after the knuckle here, the pinky is bent directly this way at a 90-degree angle, and he walks around like that. Next in line, 76 Topps Johnny Gray. Johnny Gray went to Cal State Fullerton. He's actually a uniform inspector for the NFL now. Finished his career with the Packers with 22 interceptions. Do have this card in the grade of a 10 as well, and this card is pop 10. Nice looking example of his rookie card. Moving down the line, another secondary player here. 74 Topps Willie Buchanan. Have this one in the grade of a 10. This one's a tough one to find in this grade. Only a pop of 5 in the grade of a 10. Start getting into the 70s, 10s are a lot harder to find. He finished with 28 career interceptions for the Packers, was a 2-time Pro Bowler and All-Pro once. Played with the Packers from 72 to 78, and I went to San Diego State University. And Willie Buchanan. We've got 73 Topps Fred Carr, a linebacker for the Packers. Have this one in the grade of a 10. This one's also a rare bird, pop of only 4. Picked this one up earlier this year, actually. It was a great pickup. He went to UTEP, Texas El Paso, was a linebacker for Packers from 68 to 77. 3-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro, and rest in peace, because he just passed away a couple months ago, back in February. Fred Carr. I always think he looks like Hightower from Police Academy with that mustache. You guys can be the judge, but that's what I think he looks like. From the same year, 73 Topps Chester Markol, nicknamed the Polish Prince. He's from Poland, played with the Packers from 72 to 80. He was a kicker, 2-time Pro Bowler. This card's a pop of 53 with 1 graded higher. I've actually never seen that 10, so somebody has it. And he's most well known for a play against the Chicago Bears, where he kicked the ball and it hit his offensive line. Actually, I think it was blocked, or else it hit his own line and bounced right back to him, fell into his arms, and he ran it in for a touchdown to win the game. So he's most well known for that, and he did write a book called Alive and Kicking, talking about his addictions and playing days. He was addicted to drugs, cocaine, alcohol when he played, and he did write a book about it, and he's an advocate for that now. Chester Markol. Next here we have 72 Topps John Brockington. Beautiful card in the grade of a 10. This card is a pop of only 5. Brockington played at Ohio State, played for the Packers from 71 to 77. 3-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro. Was a solid running back on those early 70s teams. Love the style of these 72 cards too. Then we'll move down to the 71s, the very tough 71s with these blue borders that showed wear very easily. I don't think there is any 10s in the whole 71 set. There might be 1 or 2, but there's not many. This is Ken Ellis. This card is a pop of 32, only 1 graded higher. So, and that's a 9. So even just to have this in a grade of an 8 is a nice card. This is a tough one to find, more expensive than you think for a Ken Ellis card. This card will probably cost you $150, $200. He went to Southern University, played with the Packers from 70 to 75. Was a 2-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro once, 22 career interceptions. What's he doing now? Well, actually, he's a pastor for, and he's a chaplain for LSU and Southern University football teams. Pretty cool card. These cards, they show wear so easily with the blue borders. Hard, very, very hard to even get an 8. 10s don't exist, and a 9 is immaculate. Here's another one, Zeke Bratkowski from the same year. Have this one in the grade of an 8.5. This one's pop 7 with 7 higher. Again, all 9s. He went to Georgia, played with the Packers from 63 to 71. 2-time Super Bowl champ and 3-time NFL champ. Zeke Bratkowski. All the cards I'm going through here are players in the Packers Team Hall of Fame. 71 Topps Lionel Aldridge, in the grade of an 8.5. This one's pop 1, only 3 graded higher. He went to Utah State. Played with the Packers from 63 to 71. Was a 2-time Super Bowl champ and a 3-time NFL champ. He suffered from schizophrenia in the 1970s and was homeless for a while, and became an advocate for mental health until his death in 1998. I think at one point he even had to sell his Super Bowl ring just to have some money. I'm going to throw on some tunage here in the background. Find the volume there. There we go. Cool. Alright, moving along here. That's done with the 71s. Now we'll get into the 1970 tops. This is probably one of the best players that you've never heard of. Gail Gillingham. They have this one in the 10, just picked this one up earlier this year. Went to the University of Minnesota, played with the Packers for 10 years, from 66 to 76. Was 6 times All-Pro and a 5-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Super Bowl champ. He was well known for his starting of weight training. One of the players that first started to get really into the weight training. And the guy was a beast, and as a guard for the Packers, and I think he should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The guy was a stud, arguably one of the best offensive linemen they've ever had, and they've had a lot of them. Oh yeah, did I say pop 6? Pop of 6 for Gail Gillingham. And from the same year, 70 tops, Ken Bowman. Also, well, this one's in the grade of a 9. Pop 34, only one graded higher, which I've never seen that one. Went to the University of Wisconsin, so local guy. 64, 73, played with the team. 2-time Super Bowl champ, 3-time NFL champ, and he is most well known, or not as well known as he should be, for a block he made in the Ice Bowl when Bart Starr snuck it in the end zone to beat the Cowboys in the Ice Bowl. Jerry Kramer gets credit for that block, but Ken Bowman had a lot to do with that block being successful. Beautiful card there. And then 70 Kellogg's, Travis Williams. This card, not too hard of a card to find. These Kellogg's cards actually held up really well. Probably only like a $10, $15 card here. But nonetheless, Travis Williams only played with the team for a couple years, from 67 to 70. He actually died young in 1991, but he still, to this day, holds the NFL record for kick return average in a season with 41.1 yards, and also kick returns for a touchdown with 4 in one season. He holds both those records to this day, even though his career was cut short. Those are all my regular cards from the 70s, and then we're going to move into some of the Fleer Hall of Fame cards, and these are some of the greats of the game. So we'll start out with this guy right here, Arnie Herber, from 75 Fleer Hall of Fame in the grade of an 8. A beautiful card. These cards are hard to get high grades in because of the brown borders. Let's see here. Arnie Herber went to UW-Madison and then to Regis College in Denver. Was a 4-time NFL champion, 3 times All-Pro. Led the NFL in passing for 3 years and touchdowns, 1932, 34, and 36. Arnie Herber, very cool card. All these ones I'm showing actually sub myself because you just don't find these graded. Next on the list here from 75 Fleer Hall of Fame is Mike Michalski. All these guys are all NFL Hall of Famers too. This one I have in the grade of an 8 as well. Michalski went to Penn State, played with the Packers from 29 to 37. Member of the 20s All-Decade team. Was a 7-time All-Pro, 3-time NFL champ. I played offensive guard and fullback for the Packers. Just a beautiful card. Mike Michalski. And now we're going to get into some really all-time greats here. One of the best all-time great names, Johnny Blood McNally, from 74 Fleer Hall of Fame. You can see 7ST for stain with a qualifier. If you turn it around, there is a little like wax stain mark right there. These cards are hard to find unstained. I hate qualifiers, but I'll take a qualifier on this one. McNally went to Notre Dame, played with the Packers from 29 to 36, part of the 30s All-Decade team. Cards only pop 6, 4 higher. The last couple cards I showed are really low pop too, because I think I'm the only one who actually grades them, along with other people that are doing this set. And then he was actually in the U.S. Army Air Corps in World War II as well as a cryptographer. Johnny Blood McNally. Lots of stories with him. He played with teams like the Milwaukee Badgers, the Duluth Eskimos, and the Pottsville Maroons. And the movie Leatherheads, the George Clooney movie in 2008, was actually based in part on Johnny Blood McNally. He was named the Vagabond Fullback just because of like some of the stuff he would do in his antics. He would climb from hotel buildings to avoid getting caught in curfew and take trains without paying. Just an interesting cat here, Johnny Blood McNally. You should read up on him sometime if you want to find out more. I'd love to find an autograph of him sometime. Next in line here, you guys all should have heard of this guy, Curly Lambeau, in the grade of an 8. Very cool card here. Lambeau went to Notre Dame, played with the Packers as a player from 1919 to 1929, and as a coach from 1919 to 1949. So 30 years he was either a player or coach with the team. 3-time All-Pro, 6-time NFL champ. This card's Pop 3, only one graded higher. Member of the 20s All-Decade team as well. Now, of course, Curly Lambeau is known for founding the Packers back in 1919. Actually, August 11, 1919. What happened was he actually went to Notre Dame University as a player. He's actually from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Went to Notre Dame as a player, but got tonsillitis so bad that he had to come home. And during that time when he was home, he got a job at the Indian Packing Company and met up with George Whitney Calhoun, who was a sports writer for the local Green Bay Press-Gazette. And they got the Indian Packing Company to put up $500 for uniforms for the team. And right there, that is how the Green Bay Packers were born. And they haven't left since. This is going to be coming up on their 100th year this year. And of course, Lambeau Field was named after this guy, Curly Lambeau. That was done in 1965 when they renamed it from City Stadium. City Stadium was built in 57 and then renamed Lambeau Field about 7 years later after Lambeau died. Truly one of the greats of the game, if not the greatest. And the last guy we'll talk about here, 74 Fleer Hall of Fame, 8 with an ST qualifier again because of those wax stains. This one's got more of a general stain over here, you can see. But the centering is nice. The card looks really nice. Cal Hubbard. Now this is an interesting cat right here. Cal Hubbard, offensive tackle for the Packers, from 29 to 35, 4-time NFL champion, 4-time All-Pro, member of the 20s All-Decade team, member of the NFL 75th anniversary team. And something cool about Cal Hubbard here is that he not only is in the NFL Hall of Fame, he is the only player to be both in the NFL Hall of Fame and the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. He was an umpire from 1936 to 1951 in the Major League Baseball. So quite a career for Cal Hubbard. Alright, so that's all the cards. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Kind of went through a lot of stuff here. A lot of players in the 70s. The 60s are going to get real crazy because there's so many great football players from the 60s and 50s and the 40s and 30s I have to go through as well. But hope you guys enjoyed the 70s. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. We'll talk to you soon.